Flip a mem coin just to start up. Flip it. Let your frogs work it hard, but we stood up. I heard your chain, it got that lag. Crash lag. Slippery. XRP, freeze me. Free. I'm up, oh, believe me. We flip cause we thrive on the ledger. You can bet on me. Flippery, flipping coins, that's a specialty. Traits on the blockchain built with rarity. Came from the mud, out the swamp with a legacy. Rugged on them chains, now we ribbit free. Hey, flip it, we rip it, no lagging me. Rip it. Let your frogs click, now we stacking fees. Trace glossy, frog wear icy. Super rare body trace so pricey. We built tough, other chain tried to wipe me. Remember Wildin', but people break the psyche. Frogs on the block, other chains too shiesty. On XRP, now gas fees don't bite me. Flippery, flipping coins, that's a specialty. Traits on the blockchain built with rarity. Came from the mud, out the swamp with a legacy. Rugged on them chains, now we ribbit free. I rock legend, flipper rare stats, icy but not slippery. From the swamp to riches, you can cancel live our history. On the XRP, boy, the speed is no mystery. Rugged on the wrist, but now we got victory. Let's go. Trace stack, frog drip, never basic. Base legend on home, XRP feels spacious. Whoa, trace rare glasses, gold, they contagious. Little bricks, frogs, man, we hopping outrageous. Hey. Other chains were slow, tried to hold us back. Legend came through, now we never lack. Trace flexing rares in the vault stack. Rugged survivors, flip a frog snap. Dead drop, ribbit, wood gone, frogs hop. XRP fast, trace pop, trace unlock. Super rare top, flip a wave, ledger hot. Rogues on the rise, no cap, we can't stop. Trace with the sauce, ribbit on your boss. Built for survival, we thrive through the loss. DJ in parade, chaos we embrace. Flip a race, frogs in the swamp, make way. Flip a mem coin just to start up. Let your frogs rugged hard, but we stood up. I heard your chain, it got that lag. Oh, crash lag. Woo, trash. Slippery, XRP, freeze me. Free. I'm up, oh, believe me. We flip cause we thrive on the ledger. You can bet on me.
What up, everybody? Welcome in. Thank you very much for being here. This is the very first episode of Know Your Dev. Welcome, everyone. I want to do this every Sunday if it was my choice. We're going to sit down with the builders, with the creators shaping the XRPL. The purpose of this series is simple. I want you to understand, or the people to understand, the story, the vision behind the work, not just the charts or the hype. Today, we're featuring the team behind the Flipper X community, a project that has blended art, culture, and community in a unique and consistent way. Behind the visuals and the ecosystem, there's a team with real story, real experience, and real passion for what they're building. Before we begin, I want to let everyone know we have some giveaways happening today. Hell yeah, I know you like that. Giveaways. We will be giving away one Flipper NFT to a random listener who stays tuned in, right? All you have to do is be here. If you're here, you're in the freaking giveaway. You're gonna get one Flipper X NFT. We will also be giving away 1 million FlipperX token to someone who drops a question or a meaningful comment that actually, gets shared in the space. So on this post on the purple pill, just put a comment in there. It could be a question or a statement, and you are entered to win an actual 1 million FlipperX token. This is to reward participation and obviously the community engagement. And obviously, at the end of the show, we will be giving away 1 million Flipper token also to someone who reposts the space and tags two people. Let me repeat that. Repost the space and tag two people to enter to win 1 million Flipper X token. The winner will be selected at random at the end of the show, and the person must be present and ready to come up and accept the prize. With that said, let's get started. Team, let's begin with some introduction. What up, everyone? What up, Silos? What up, Jonesito? For those who might be new to you, and each of you, please introduce yourself. Go on. Jonesito.
GM, good morning. Buenos dias. My name is Johncito. I represent the Flipper Gang, the Flip Gang. I'm the founder of La Herencia. I'm Puerto Rican. I live in Carolina, Puerto Rico, and I'm proud as hell to be Latino Hispanic. And that's the way I introduce myself everywhere. And I'm the official janitor of the Flip Gang. So that's me. GM, buenos dias.
Buenos dias, GM, my man, GM. All right, Silos, what's going on, my friend? Talk to us.
GM. So yeah, my name is Silos, or my tag is Silos, or name is Carlos. I've been in crypto for years, and I'm the dev and creator or artist of the Flipper X, and also part of the big Spanish community called La Gerencia with Josido. And yeah, that's basically what I am.
All right, all right. Well, let's stop. Let's stop you right there. I don't want you to give away parts of the show, man. I got some questions for you. So let's let's take it one bite size at a time, right? So now, since you already introduced yourself, I want to know, how do you two came together as a team? How did the Flipper X or La Gerencia team got together?
I got that one. I got that one. So we started Spaces like at 2021, at the ending of 2021. I started with Julio. We used to start like ENS Latino. We were into ENS and ETH things. And one thing bring us to another thing, and that's how I started, or I founded La Gerencia. I already had a whole bunch of crowd of Hispanics that were following me and started supporting me doing La Gerencia, right? I already knew about Silos because he's a known artist here in Puerto Rico, right? In the community of Puerto Rico as an NFT pixel artist. But when I started with La Gerencia, he just started helping me a little bit more, like being there. He's the one that started giving me like that branding to La Gerencia, because La Gerencia was just a space, right? So he put that touch, that art touch. He started creating things for the community, and one thing just brought to another one, and we started having more conversations, and bro, it was so organic that it just happened, right? Uh,
Dios.
yeah, it was
That
organic. It was something really organic.
that's good. That's good, my guy. Now, I want to let's go back a little bit more, right? I want to know, before crypto, before La Gerencia, before Flipper X, what were you guys working on before that?
I always been a salesman, so I used to work for Banco Santander of Puerto Rico. I'm always been a salesman, so I
You're a
was
bankster.
yeah. I used to work at the bank, and I
Yeah,
always
man.
been around numbers, but when I met crypto wasn't in the pandemic like a lot of people. I don't know, right? I was me.
Yeah, wait,
And
wait, wait! Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. Let's give Silos a chance. Carlos, let's give you a chance. What was your beginnings prior to crypto? What were you doing before that?
I mean, I am always been artist, always been drawing and stuff. But in reality, before this, I was I don't know the name of that in English. I think is uh
Say it in Spanish. Johncito can translate.
is maintenance. You know, the guys that do maintenance on the power lines, on the transmission power lines,
Okay,
cutting
that's
the
good
trees
enough.
and all that. Yeah, that's what I used to do before.
Oh, that's good to know. So now, for both, right? What was your real moment in crypto where something clicked and you said, you know what, this is what I have to be doing. This is what I'm meant to be doing. What was that click? That's something that actually put you in crypto.
I can start. Okay, so I don't know. Like I know about crypto per se, like Bitcoin for a while. I had a friend that he was always talking about it. I was not into it. I didn't believe. about it because I didn't understand what it was. But then on 2020, no, it was earlier, said 2018, I think it was, or 17, I found a way how to buy it and all that. And that's when I started uh, buying Bitcoin. But then on 2020, that's when I started seeing that there was other stuff other than Bitcoin. And I started doing research. And as soon as I started learning about the blockchain per se, how it worked and how everything like was working on it, that's when it got me and I started learning more and more. And then it was the NFTs, then you added NFTs, so you got me 200%.
Wow. So you were just like the average person out there. Actually didn't believe in crypto, didn't believe in Bitcoin. Then you started researching it, and then things started to change your mind. So you started diving deeper, doing some more research, and then you're basically just went in full time in crypto. Where did the idea came from of building something of your own, right? Because we're here because of this. You actually built something of your own and you wanted to share with the community. So where did the idea of building something of your own came from?
I think mm, I always had the idea of building something. I think from day one, I've always been that person that is always trying to create something or trying to build something. So that was the first thing I started doing when I started learning about big blockchain. I started learning how to build, how to do everything in it, and here we are. I mean, it's not like just the idea for the flippers. No, it's something on me, in me.
Okay, okay. Well, for my understanding, for what I know personally, the Flipper X is just one fraction of actual your entire vision, your
Yes,
entire project,
that's
and of
correct.
course, things take time. So you're slowly developing each of these branches of your tree, basically. So now I know you had some projects before that you were involved in other chains, right? What problems or gap did you see on the XRPL or basically the NFT space that made you say, "Hey, we can build something better on XRPL"?
I mean, what I the first thing that got me from XRPL was how easy it was to build in it, and all the community that it was getting in there. But I was not seeing my ideas. I was not able to see my vision or a lot of things that I wanted to do on other blockchain. I was not seeing it in XRP. So it got my interest to start building and make it my home or the Flipper X home.
Okay, so this was a hey, this is a brand new ecosystem. Let me go ahead and capitalize on this and actually be one of the first ones to do this. This is
Yes.
why you came to XRPL. Okay, and then you stayed because of the speed and the what is it? How easy it was to actually build. So that's pretty cool. I do like XRPL a lot. I'm one of the lovers of XRPL for many years. I actually participate in a lot of different things here, and I support a lot of different projects. I appreciate everyone that is coming up and showing up. For anybody that doesn't know, if you look at the pin post, I have a special giveaway just for you guys for being here now. So please take a moment to share, like, repost, so we can go ahead and get more people in here. But let's continue. So now, Silos and Johncito, either or, was there a moment where Flipper X stopped being an idea and became the project or a project? Like, what was that moment like when that happened, that switched from an idea to an actual project?
Honestly, like he said, he's always building things and having things like this type of ideas, community idea, because this is the type of guy that when he thinks and builds, he builds for the people and for the crew that's just beside him, you know. So when we started talking in 2022, um, just talking, right? We started just vibing, bro. He was throwing his visions to the table. I was throwing mines, and everything was like getting along, right? So since that time, he had this idea, everything on paper or on his head. It just didn't had the drawing, right? The NFT, the PFP, the this face that you seen today, right? But everything he knew what he was gonna do because he's been building. He's since he's what since he got a computer, right? So for him, it wasn't that easy to get a place or find a place where he can just collide with other people that had his type of language. Like we say in Spanish, el que habla con la mano, he speaks with his hands, right? That's the way he talks. Um,
Yeah, being a dev and all, right?
exactly, exactly. So when he creates Croakworks, he already knew at 2022 he was going to create this lab or this thing on Web3. He just didn't know in what blockchain. And he just said something earlier here. It was a key for us and for him, right? Him being the coder, he found an XRPL or XRP ecosystem, right? It was so easy to build, and he just went bananas, bro. Since December, he's been creating D apps and creating a whole bunch of things that I know since the last years he's been having that in his head. It's just he found that funnel for him to throw everything to, and that's like the ledger. I don't know. That's the
That
way I
that
can
that's
explain it right now. You know.
That well, I'll explain it to you. That is love. That is passion for actually what he's doing. And whenever you actually do something that you like and you enjoy, it's no longer a job. It's no longer work. It's something that you love. And I believe XRPL. It stands for XRP Love. I know most people think it stands for XRP Ledger, but it's not the case. It's XRP Love because anybody who actually works in XRP and finds out how good it is, they end up loving it and staying because of it. So I want to change that XRP Ledger to XRP Love. Anyways, let's continue. For for both, right? Either or. For someone brand new, someone just coming into crypto, how would you describe the Flipper X in the simplest term, right? The simplest term that you can think of. How do you describe the Flipper X project?
I think there's a couple words, but I think there's one that describe. I think is the energy, maybe. But I mean, on Flipper, we can describe almost with everything: music, art, character, um, utility now, and DJ energy with
I
the
got one. I got
dancing.
a word.
Go
Culture.
ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
you have one.
Culture.
Culture.
That's the
Ooh, I
one.
like
That's the
that.
one.
I like that. I like that culture. Yeah, that's good. This is definitely what we need. We need culture. I don't know how many of you have been in other chains, but in other chains there's some culture, but it's a rug culture. It's a PvP culture. It's a man versus man culture. And XRPL, I don't see much of that. So yeah, we need to continue to bring people that have culture in here to spread it around. Now, obviously everybody sees my PFP, Silos, and Johncito. This is all the NFTs from the FlipperX community. I was lucky enough to get my one of one early enough in the actual creation. I want to know what actually inspired the style, right, of that character. What was the art direction and basically the identity of FlipperX?
Okay, so basically, the art style is my style is the way I like drawing or graffiti style, let's say, because that's on my culture. Um, but the character per se, it was from the Pepe's, because I had to pick a character or something that represent the DJing culture or DJing community. So I picked the Pepe, and and I modify it to my, my vision, what I wanted to portray, all these expressions and all that to express what we've been through on the blockchain.
Okay, so this is a morphed version of actual Pepe.
Yeah, that's
Kind of,
that's
yeah.
when we
My
became
way of seeing
croaks. You know,
things.
that's how we became croaks. That's why
You
croak
you you
works.
you keep you keep dropping a nugget about croaks. We haven't even gotten there yet.
No, but
But let
everything goes along. You ask the character is Pepe, Pepe's a
yeah, croak.
frog, and
Yeah,
Croak is a frog.
croak.
So
I got you. I
everything
got you.
goes there. It's a line, you know.
So okay. Let's take this a little step deeper, right? The team. I want to know how does each team member contributes. You know, who handles what behind the scenes. Give it all to me. Talk to me about the team.
We all manage things at the same time in the same chat, and we just discuss things, and we get out there with one decision as one. That's one thing we've been doing since La Herencia, and we've been applying that same mode of working and everything that we do, and it's just being successful for us in communication, you know, and that's something that we all give um uh I don't know how to say that in English, como importancia, importance, right? And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
nobody goes above nobody, right? We get to that last decision. Everybody is get along. Everybody's a yes, and we out there. Um,
Well, you know, I want to play devil's advocate here. You know, in every project out there, in every organization out there, there is a chain of command, right? So ultimately, the buck stops with the head of the actual chain of the organization, right? In IRL, I run a department, a store, and any final decision has to come through me. So I would assume that within the team there is a head, and then obviously a chart of organization. Yes, the communication can be done through everyone, but if there's no structure onto where the buck stops, then that creates some sort of conflict because there
yeah.
could be,
Right.
it's two different heads, two
Uh,
different visions. So where does the buck stop?
Honestly, everything is Silos because how I said to since the beginning, he got this since 2022 in his head, and sabrá Dios, who knows since when, right? But when he meets me, I'm that guy that speaks out there. I already had la gerencia, and if you know, and the people that know Silos, he doesn't talk that much, right? So
Yeah,
I don't know how I got that gift that I don't know I already had to understand him, because at the same time he's not a guy that speaks in sentences. He speaks in phrases, and he the majority of the things he got in his head, he understands that you understand. And we talking about coding and thing in Web3 that honestly it's really difficult sometimes to speak with him if he's not in the mood. Let's put it like that, because he's over there in the coding, and when he tried to speak it out to me, I didn't get it right at the beginning. So pretty much, I say that for you guys to understand. He got the first one and the last one, but he doesn't speak. So the first thing that he stated was that we all gonna have a consensus of whatever he says, right? And then we give him the ideas, and we all brainstorm at the same time, you know. So
yeah,
nothing is dictatorial. Nothing is like that. Like it doesn't feel like he got the last one, or this or that, because we're not a big team, and at the same time we talk everything, bro.
yeah. So there is great open communication within that
I'll say,
organization.
yeah, bro. I'll say more than great, better than that I had it with my ex. Like, and I'm being
because
honest.
because
Yeah, yeah,
basically what I do, or sometimes I just give my idea to them, and we talk about it, and then after the conversation we decide. So I don't let
yeah,
that to be only my decision, only when it's needed.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't I don't like
Understood.
feeling like that, the boss.
Understood. But you have the key to turn unlock the doors per se whenever it comes to one of those hard things that has to happen in the actual team. I understand that. Well, thank you very
Johncito
much.
too. Johncito has that
Yeah.
power as
Okay. So
well.
I'll tell you what. For anybody that knows Dragon Ball Z, there is a moment in time where Goku and Vegeta have to do a fusion.
Yep,
So
yep.
at times when there's some communication that needs one head, what they do is actually do the dance for the fusion, and they fusion to one
That's the
and turn the
best
key at the same time.
description.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I want to know what were the biggest challenges you faced when you were launching on XRPL. I know there was not just a smooth ride for a lot of people out there that want to think that that's not the case. There's obviously going to be some sort of challenges, but in your head, what was your biggest challenge you faced when launching on XRPL?
I,
Mm, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
from my side, I'll say community, cause I know I'm really centrated in Spanish, right? All week I do weekly spaces, and all the time I'm doing content in Spanish. So for me, it was the community. But we launched in May 1st. And at the beginning, thanks to you, you introduced us to a whole bunch of other communities, Hispanics, so you brought a lot of people to La Herencia, right? And that's how I started like getting to the English type of other
Speakers.
side of, yeah, other side, because it's not even speakers, that other side, right? And but but then Vegas came, and Vegas was a big push because we went to the Sigma party, we went to the all the in real life events, we went to the XRP Vegas, and we met a lot of people, and that changed everything, right? But I'll say at the beginning. That first introduction to the community, like who are they, or what are the intentions, what they do, that I think I could say that it was that beginning for me from the side of the community and knowing people and get us to get known out there.
Okay, okay. Silo, you want to add something to that, or should I
I
ask the
think
next
I'm
question?
with him because that's the most hard part for us to reach, because most of the time we are taking care of Spanish community, and dividing or doing all that is kind of hard. But
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have that much to say on what hard another hard thing of XRP.
Okay,
I
okay.
don't.
Well, let's dive in right into the next one then. Throughout your time developing, throughout your time, direction in your journey, what's something you learned during development that changed the direction of the project?
I mean, people wanted stuff, wanted more than just a normal collection like the usual you can find on XRP. So I had to create something meaningful, like identity, story, or that it has culture in it. And we did.
Okay, beautiful. And just to elaborate more on that, right? What he means is, um, throughout his development of the project, instead of just making the NFT art and put it on XRP Cafe, he decided to actually add an element of identity to each character on their own website, which is actually pinned on the post above. So if you have interacted with that post, you'll get to see some of those links. And one of them is flipperx.xyz. If you visit that site, you'll see each character have their own identity with a little message on there. There's a ton of information in there. It's a lot of fun. If you're actually going to look at it, you'll understand what I mean. So please take a moment, do that, but not right now. Let me ask two more questions before we select somebody that actually made a meaningful comment to win an NFT. The NFT is going to be won right after the next two questions. So if you haven't commented anything yet, this is your chance. This is your opportunity to make a meaningful comment or a question. And Johncito, I'm gonna actually give you that task if you don't mind. Go ahead, go through those comments. See, pick one out, and please don't be biased because they're part of the Flipper X community or not. You know what I mean? Just pick somebody that genuinely actually stands out. I want to be as fair as possible to everyone in here, and I want everyone to have equal opportunity. So please, and while you do that, Silos, I want to ask you, what has been the most meaningful moment since you launched your actual project? The most meaningful moment, the moment that you actually want that night you went to bed and said, "Oh my God, I'm so glad this happened," or what actually sparked a little butterfly in your stomach that night that you went to sleep? Talk to me, tell me. I'm interested.
Okay, so one of the things that got me was seeing others using their PFP. That's one of the meaningful moments for me. Maybe for other people are it's not, but to me it is. And then seeing the the Spanish community supporting us. That's one of the things. But another day that it got me that like that, it was when I got in front of the people or other holders in Vegas. That that teach me a lot. That shocked me a little bit because I never been in that situation, like meeting a lot of people that know me like that, and they were excited as well to meet me. That means a lot to me.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I seen it myself. I experienced it myself. But yeah, no, that's definitely one of the easiest, I say, effortless way to actually show appreciation for somebody's art, and is wearing the actual PFP. I got to say that I've worn a lot of different PFPs. I enjoy every single one I put on. And of course, I love my Flipper X. I turned it into, or you turned it into a Christmas vibe, and I appreciate you, right? I did this as much for yourself than I did for myself, right? Because I'm obviously selfish. It's my account. I want to wear something that I like, and that's the reason why I'm wearing it. So I appreciate you for doing that. And yes, always, always support, right? I'm biased, everyone. Yes, I'm biased. I hold a token. This is my disclaimer. I hold a token. I hold the NFTs. These guys, I've been with them for over a year, and I can't wait for them to continue their path. So now the last question before we pick somebody for the giveaway, Johncito, let's shift into something that's a big part of your identity as a team, right? La Gerencia. That's the Spanish radio show where we get to actually connect with all the Spanish community and actually introduce them to crypto and onboarding to crypto. Tell me something. How did that team came about? How the La Gerencia was born?
But like I said earlier, really organic. I just started one day opening spaces from my personal account. I just titled La Herencia #1, and that was like that was born, brother. And I already did spaces before, and that's how Silos like become just assisting to La Herencia, and he shifted to the place that we are right now with the web page, because he's the one creating everything in the back, right? Like he just put laherenciapr.com. We started having our own web page, and then in real life events, we created the logo. We went with our uniforms, and we just give give that La Herencia that life that it was born. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, my brother. It just
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
like that, you know? It
So,
was
let me interject right there. What inspired you to create a Spanish speaking crypto community space at the time where there
yeah.
aren't many? Like even right now, there are not many shows out there that are in Spanish. What inspired that? What inspired you to create a specifically Spanish show?
So last bull run, I met crypto in the DJing way, right? I just I just was in YouTube and heard about sheep and did what I had to do that they said in the YouTube video. And that's how I get here and the crypto. And that brought me to Telegram and Discord and all this trenches. Everybody know. So when they opened VCs, I used to speak English like I speak now, but not a lot of Hispanics speak English. So I was always translating. And in the middle of that translation, someone from the VC, a non Hispanic and non Spanish speaker, used to start talking like, oh, you're not allowed to, oh, don't speak that language and say racist things. And a lot of comments that in reality, they didn't bring nothing to the table. I just was translating whatever they were talking here for them to understand. Maybe they were gonna buy, or they didn't understand what was happening. So that brought me to starting like to talk for them, and I started open a channel in Spanish so I don't bother you guys. And from one thing brought me to another one. I met Julio. We shifted everything to Twitter. And since we shifted to Twitter, we decided since the beginning we're gonna do everything in Spanish for our people, from us, from Spanish to Spanish. No wars, no nothings. It's just to translate, to bring the things in Spanish. But we started with ETH and the ENS type of community, to the point that Julio was a delegate for the Spanish community. He had more than 20, 30,000 coins delegated for him. ENS Latino used to vote in the name of Spanish. I remember because, like, our language, la tilde, la ñ. There's things, the accents are really important, right? So maybe an accent for a lot of other non-Spanish speakers, they don't care, but for us, it's really important for us to read. So things like that in the ENS type of community, we were really, really vocal about it. And that's how everything started. So when we shift back to La Herencia, how I started, so Silos just came part of that vision. He already knew what was our prior vision, right? In ENS Latino, just now we want to open it a little bit more and be, how I call this, multi-chain in English. And I always shifted like a not it wasn't a product. It was just educational purpose. We translate everything, and everything that you bring to actualizarnos a nosotros, right? Like a community. It was like what you bring for us to learn, and everything was in the educational purpose. And from one thing to another, now we are what we are today, a
Yeah,
solid
yeah.
community, and Silos has been there since the beginning, and that's how I like shift to being there with his projects, and
Yeah.
his things, and we became one. That's how I can say it.
Nice, nice. Listen, I realized that I made a mistake here. I gave you another question when we were supposed to take a break to pick our NFT winner. So please give us the light, give us the green light. Who is actually going to win this NFTs? Let's bring him up, throw him the mic. Once he accepts it, we'll actually talk to them. So, Johncito, you had that task. I hope you picked somebody. If you didn't, I can pick one for
I
you.
already send the speaker, and I send it to you to your DM. So I seen Crypto Noob there since the beginning, right? Really active, and he did a question. I got everything there. He put the three ads, ¿verdad? And that's the winner.
Okay, let's get him up here.